Thank you for tuning in with Enchantress. That is me, the Babble. That is me on this revolutionary rise of an uprise at this time. And so I'm tuning into feeling this Mercury retrograde theme out because in our earthly calendar, we are now experiencing some Mercury retrograde lessons or understandings of knowledge that is being passed down from knowledge that has been gathered and put into cipher so that it can be shared and spread and resonated with in some kind of way. And then you have various forms of astrology that exists that has their own variation version of, the planets in our systems and their influence on us and in our environments, and certain different mathematical formulas that dictate and tell them a certain level of degree of knowledge they believe they understand best for that sector of astrology to understand. And and it's just like religion, where people have to feel they pick and choose a side and have to, oh no, I only believe in this form of astrology because it resonates and that's it and that's what I know, and all those other ones are wrong. It's just like the whole picking and choosing and feeling the need to have one over the other concept of mindset that imprints and implants itself into so many humans' systems and creates a certain level of behavioral patterning that is kind of like, if you wanted to case study it, you can pretty much determine and come up with your own kind of formulas and theories and whatever assessments based off of whatever it is that you case study, blah blah blah. Either way, what I find interesting is that my whole dive with astrology period, and just coming to the understanding of how everything is informative, everything is knowledge. That terminology of when we say take what resonates, means take what resonates. Let go of definition. Let go of where you think it comes from. What resonates? You know what I'm saying? And so that is the part of what is kind of being like excavated for so many individual souls and their place and their journey right now in this now time whenever you encounter this message. Although I'm speaking of a specific moment in my now time that is activating me into this trance-like state of communication to be able to be that transcribe, to be this oracle of life or light, to speak words that are in full alchemical agreement, alignment, understanding, overstanding, while it is being translated into, encrypted into our systems. We are all seeds encoded in this kind of way, decoding ourselves in every kind of way. You know what I'm saying? So in Western astrology, Mercury retrograde is in Pisces waters right now, right? So I think I read a little bit about on. See, that's the beauty too of connecting with what resonates with you too. When you first discipline yourself enough to first and foremost always meet and seek and get to know best and know your own stance and information and truth system, by inner dialing and connecting. You know, having gotten to this plateau of experience at this namaste moment, and even if you have challenging moments that make you like have to breathe, because another potential of a reaction is also possible to be activated in you if you allow it to, which can be the destruction or misalignment of your now mistake moments being triggered, you know, to act out of its own pocket, to allow external stimuli to socket, you know, itself, or whatever case may be, whatever. Hopefully, if you are tuning in, and I pray this for you, my friends, and that you will find that, and if not, and if you are seeking that and need that, and are working your way to that, beautiful, and I will say what that is in a moment. I know I get so, you know, poetic in my communications, but that too has evolved and come a very long way for me to be so free to express in this way and allow for the flow of that kind of rain to be received through me, and me, the me of a piece of a whole that is pieces of another whole of some part that makes up this perceived vessel that I am, that is multidimensional and mind expand of how multidimensional, sentient, and cosmic we truly and collectively are. By far, we are amazing. Yeah. And the more that we continue to activate our star seeds, I like the terminology of a lot of things. I don't hold on to the definition of what one might believe, because it's even deeper than what, like, whatever level of evolution of species that believes to know itself most and think itself most intelligent or knowing still has growing. None is exempt from that. And so in that in itself, there is something grandeur than that leveling of highest of evolution that is conscious of itself cannot even fathom or like conceive, because it's so beyond the scope of their mindset of limiting things, even when we are flowing and expansive and open for everything exists all at the same time. Polarity is divine. It's a matter of choosing what energy you're going to rhyme into at this time, and awakening to that set of life in our alignment for our refinement. Is a mountainous climb, I know. For there are many factors and variables that come into play, that interplay and want to intermingle and want to ruffle some feathers and want to like sting some rays, and you want to throw some shade, and you want to get into a combative state, defensive state, abusive state, volatile state, freaking victim mind state, like whatever state you want to go and participate in the reality of this kind of effect of this alchemical spin that is us in evolution. Knowing this and not participating in any of the pollution, because we are the transmuters, transformers that are awakened to these sensory exploits that exploits us when we are not actively participating in our own inner government and alignments for our refinements, for them we become, right? Those dead fish swimming with the flow kind of theme. And it's like, dead fish swimming with the flow kind of theme. Dead fish swimming with the flow kind of theme. It's like, what do you mean? Okay, please let us learn for ourselves. And it requires a lot of dissections. So if you were sensitive to those kind of science classes in the earthly dimensions, right, of whatever, like, you know, what class was that? When you dissect stuff in class, what class was that? Why am I drawing a blank? Every other field name study of science is popping through my head right now, but that one that you do dissect. Oh my gosh, it will come to me. But you see how silly is that? And you know what? I take entertain in that, because that helps me not take things so seriously and be less guarded too. Like, you know, silly we can be too in this evolution of who we are, and being in this kind of leveling of alignment so far to be so comfortable in yourself. That is great. And what was I saying? I lost track of all kinds of things because I'm like thinking of so many things. I'm just gonna center here and not blame this on Mercury retrograde. It's very easy to become recording. Just because she's been so Mercury blunt this season. I didn't know what was going to come out of her mouth, so I had to let her know that I was recording. Gemini and Taurus and Vedic, right? Alrighty. Get back into the motion of this message and Mercury retrograde and understanding it in a whole different way. If you are here, what I was saying, then I would only hope that wherever you are, no matter the experience, you're already at a position of a certain level of consciousness that exists inside of you that is awakened to the most highest octave of you, whether you are fully tapped into it to wherever you are. That's not what I am saying. What I am saying is that you are there. You are awakened. There is no going back into that sleeper state of, you know, whatever, unless you don't progress and you stay stagnant in your place for too long of a space that expires in this human race. I don't know. Everybody's different, but to be able to okay, beautiful. To be able to look inside yourself and examine what is causing you to feel this way. Reflective in every kind of way, introspective in every kind of way. Allowing for your evolution in that kind of way. Transmuting and leading the way and being the example in that kind of way. Encouraging that way and feeling that vibe that pulsates through you life at this time. It's beautiful. And part of this is identifying rigid blockages, rigidness, blockages, toxicities. Like, master alchemists, are we able to live in the experience of this 3D? Conscious are we? No longer reactive to these energetic external stimuli. Instead, we discover and look inside ourselves for the most divine of the truth. And that was what I was saying before too. Well, I hope that if you are here, then the first place that you ever enter in any kind of atmosphere before seeking elsewhere what is only yours and can be found inside, is that you have already, to this point, know that you gotta look inside yourself. And get to know that level of yourself most best, so that you can stand at your best no matter what is happening externally from your inner land and environment. And that's beautiful. So, like, for me to be here and be like, oh, my inability to be able to communicate effectively to whomever it is that I am attempting to communicate effectively with is due to the influence of Mercury retrograde. What application to the lessons that I have learned through my whole entire lifetime of experience that was like, girl, you need to listen and you need to better communicate effectively and stop being so damn defensive in your life, because maybe not everybody's out to harm you, or maybe that's just a stance of defense, or whatever wounded healing that needs to be healed within you that is surfacing in some other kind of degree or pocket that is trying to make itself manifest to you and show itself to you so that you may properly nourish it, you know. And it takes a while to sometimes get into that cycle of doing what it is that you need to do first and foremost and best for you before even going outside of yourself in any kind of way to see what kind of day I'm going to have. But let me check my horoscope today to see what kind of day I'm going to have. No, let me know what kind of day I'm going to have. And let me check my horoscope to see if it applies, if it resonates this time. And if it don't, then that was not for me. I'm not going to take it personal, because I'm sure it'll resonate with somebody else that needed it. All right, cool. At least my discernment is clear. You know what I'm saying, my dears? So what we have here is an unconditioning layer of unconditioning or conditioning that's still taking place, even though we might be in this kind of level of space of awareness and consciousness, you see, and we are activated in that kind of, you know, alignment, you see, that allows us to operate and navigate on these lands, you know, uncovering and still, but it doesn't make us exempt from the experience, or even just having to go through the emotions of the experience, but at a most, you know, definitely faster rate and space that allows us to navigate in a more healthier evolutionary kind of way, because as when we know better, we do better, and that's just how it applies if you're tuning into this channel at this time. Alchemy divine within each and every one of us, right? Looking inside of ourselves. So what led to that long babble, as you would see, Enchantress the Babbler, that is me. If you're not into this kind of like poetic free spree that, you know, I may go off topic about a lot of things, and I might not even complete the thing that I was originally starting to say, although I'm getting better in that kind of way. I think so. My communication is evolving in that kind of way because I am trying to be conscious of what it is that I am transcribing to. So imagine that level of practice that is being right now activated in me, to be third party free, to be able to observe as I too trance, or like allow for that flow rhythmic dance, you know, spoken word to deliver its flow gasmic, because it requires a level of letting go and allowing the flow to get into that kind of leveling of no, right? And so it sometimes comes out like poetry for the soul, and that's what I say. But and that's freestyled in that kind of way. So it allows, and it goes every which kind of way. But I mean, that's that kind of thing. Then there are other things that you can be into, which brings me back to this Mercury retrograde too, like of just how we are conditioned in this 3D realm of perceived existence to understand. Because remember, we come under a system that has already been created. So all the structures that you are learning and either taking in as your own too, and applying it too for you in your life, and stuff like that, is going truly based off of a structure that is being fed to you, that is as, and you accept as is as, because you came out the womb and they said this is like that, and that is like that, and that is like this, and you're like, well, I like banana. Okay, I like peanut butter. I don't like peanut butter. Oh, I'm allergic to this. Like, and you come in siding with the parts that the human relates to or something, and or likes in some kind of way. I don't know. I know you're going to my, like, whatever, theatrics and that kind of way of, like, description and stuff like that. But, to now be in this kind of leveling of state, to understand that, there are certain things that just systematically over time, we get prescribed, transcribed, or like, molded or influenced or watered, taught, shown this, that, and that. And then what we do, or what we are not taught how to do, is to find your truth in all of that while being outside of what it is, without formulating a certain kind of, like, being able to entertain a thought without necessarily making it your own. That's a beautiful thing. I love that. Right? And so imagine, so now my own, like, construct of practice of having to establish this leveling of finer tuning and sharpening, my own, writing tools, or like things that I have to do, is being able to now pay attention, be here, be present, while not being present, not being here, and allowing for this transcription to be here, and then paying attention and listening to that too, my dears, while then still empathically absorbing everything else that I am picking up externally from that whole entire environment, and not being affected, to allow still that transcribe to burst into light, and then communicate that bright. It's been a challenge. I gave a reading to somebody the other day. All my readings are great, wonderful too. And even with this person too, I said beautiful truth, right? It's a wonderful thing to do. I love what I do, right? Okay. But when it came to a point of where it's one thing to highlight a point, right? It's so easy to highlight, to put into bullet form what it is, the stuff, right? The grand concept of things, right? Which is great. We want to grasp the bigger picture of things. Like, just give me the highlight, give me the point, give me the bullet, give me the what I should focus on. What give me this, right? Thing right here, right? Like, what if you look up information on Mercury retrograde, you would be given all those highlights and points. And then paragraphs of information that go a little bit detailed based off of the writer's perspective and input or research and knowledge of whatever it is that they're going to share about this information that they're giving along with their points. And chances are most people skim through that process and then just go to the highlights and points that stand out for them, and that's how they digest information, right? Because they want it fast, already there, provided for, because that is the world we come out the vagina from, you know, where it's already given and done for you. All you have to do is figure out your role in that development or environment of things, if there's a role for you, right? You either like comply or, you know, create. Which one? So, right. What was I saying? Yeah, really, what was I saying? This is real life, folks. This will not be edited out. This will be included. Wow, look at this. This flipped over. Aquarius. Here we go, which is interesting. This energy is freedom-loving, rebellious, idealistic, and technological. Which brings me to even just the whole Mercury retrograde of how in Western astrology it is Piscean waters. And in Vedic, it's Aqua. So, here we are. Meeting here. There are certain things that are needing to be made clear. And we are making it clear. Little by little, step by step. So yeah, I did a reading on somebody. And so what's happening for each of us now, each in our own scope of or place in the world and stuff like that, no matter what the experience is, the energy of the lesson is kind of like the same. It's also the integration of the energies are the same too. It's the infusion of the alchemy, the ingredients gathered through the journey that align the magician with all the tools and all the wisdom needed in order to navigate and create and make manifest what one wants, needs, and desires on this 3D plane of existence, right? I'm going to continue there with the video number 2 just because Mercury is retrograde and they've been giving me a little bit already complications of uploading another video that I was doing of a pick a card video. And that one was a little bit over 30 minutes long, and so since that is the case and this is already at 27 minutes, I am going to video number 2. So if you want to follow me along, that would be great too. I swear I will get to the point and the gist of the things that I just said I'm saying. It's just, you know, this babbling kind of way, which brings me back to the reading that I was giving and the details that I was doing, but I'm going to continue it on into video number 2. Thank you.